So I got some houseplants. My husband and I went to the Lightscape at Chicago Botanic Garden, which is an annual event they do every winter for the holidays. And I don't think there's been a time when I've gone to the Botanic Garden, which is out in Glencoe, that I haven't also gone to Chalet Nursery, which is pretty close by in Wilmette, because I'm not typically out in the suburbs unless I'm going to the Botanic Garden. So it makes sense to also get plants when we're out there. So this is really, I think, my first round of houseplants that I've purchased after the garden season. I used to get a lot of houseplants over the winter. I have scaled back quite a bit because I don't like too much clutter, I say as I look around my cluttered room, but I'm realizing I don't like as many like random plants everywhere. I like to get a plant when I have a specific place in mind for it, but having said that, I only know for sure what I'm gonna do with maybe about half of these plants. But let me show you what I got, and then I will figure out what I'm gonna do with all of these plants. Let's start off with these caladiums, because these I actually did not get at Chalet. These were sent to me by proven winners. I just got them a couple days ago, I think. And I have 6 total. There's only 2 on the table because the other ones right now are just sitting in the corner because I didn't want to clutter the table too much. But these are the Heart to Heart Snow Flurry. So they're mostly green and white, but there is some pink on some of the leaves. So although I haven't settled on what I'm going to do with these yet, I do have some ideas, but these are part of their Christmas collection where they're trying to introduce these as another option to poinsettias, which I have some of those as well. So how these I think should work growing them inside is that they'll work as houseplants for a while, then they'll go dormant like caladiums naturally do. Then they can be planted outside. And since these are shade caladiums, I think these are going to be perfect either for my pots on the front stairs, but I'm thinking more into the parkway, especially because I have 6. I think that'll space out nicely. So I really like plants like this where I can have multi-uses for them throughout the season. Now I won't be able to leave the caladium bulbs in the ground because it's just too cold, so I will have to dig them up. And I also have some of the caladium bulbs right now in the shower, our guest shower, in the pots that they were growing in outside. So I'm excited to use these. We actually have a holiday party coming up this weekend, and I want to create some sort of holiday decor with these. But again, I'm kind of deciding between a few options right now. So these, again, I got from proven winners. So let's move these over to the side. And then let's stick with the theme of holiday decor for now, because I also got these. Well, let me grab the caladium back because I wanted to pair them together. So I got 3 of these poinsettias. Do you say poinsettia or poinsettia? I think I actually say poinsettia more often. Anyway, but these were called the Mouse Pink poinsettia variety, and that's because they are pink. And when I saw them, I already had these caladiums. I think I just got these the day before, and I thought that the pink, again, just the hints of pink on the Snow Flurry caladium worked really nicely with the pink, technically they're leaves, not petals, but the pink flower part of the poinsettia. So again, I have 6 of these, 3 of these. I feel like something planted together might look really nice, but again, not sure yet, but that is at least the plan. So I got 3 of these, 6 caladiums, and then I was definitely in a fern mood when I went to Chalet, and that was actually what was on my to buy list. I don't think I went too much off of the list that I went in there with, but I wanted a fern to go on this table to pot up. So I got this, I think it's called, where's the tag? Got it. So this is called the autumn fern, and I just loved the shape of it. And for me, ferns have done pretty well when I've grown them before. I had one that I brought in from the garden and then moved it back out, and now it's dead because I didn't bring it back in. But that type of fern, I don't know the variety, but it's very messy. I don't think this one will be as messy, but we'll see. But I just loved the shape of it. So my plan is to pot it, set it on this table, and then just kind of have it sprawling. I think that would look really nice. Now I do know that ferns like humidity, so for this I am going to get in a routine of spraying it. I also already spray daily my lemon tree. There's another plant I got that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to spray daily to try to keep it alive, but I'm hoping that this one will work really well for this situation. Then I also got a fern that has been on my wish list for at least a year, so I always feel good when I purchase something that I've thought about for a while and know that I really do want it. But this is an asparagus fern, and I like that it kind of looks like little like puffs. Did I just say like 5 times in a row? I enjoy that it looks like little puffs of green. And what made this go on my to buy list is that the place where I get nails done, they have one, and I didn't know what it was at the time, but it's gigantic, like sprawling all over their shelves that they have. And I think I would love to be able to recreate this on the shelves behind me somewhere. I don't know exactly where they'll go yet, probably on this side because it's closer to the window. These don't need a lot of sun, but they do like a little bit of indirect light. So I think that's probably where they will go. I was hoping to find a large one, but I couldn't find a large one there. So I got 2 that I know I'm gonna pot together. Not sure the size yet. I don't know how quickly these will grow, but I'm really happy that I finally got something that has been on my list for a while. And then my last plant is the one that I'm most likely to kill. So this I did not have on a list. I simply got because I saw it and it was pretty. And it is kind of like a mauvey pink with some green. There's some lighter color leaves too. This was just labeled moss at the garden center, but after asking some people on Instagram and checking on Google, I think what this is a rainbow moss / peacock fern. So I must have been in a very like ferny, mossy mood at the garden center. So asking people online, they basically said the only way they've been able to keep moss alive is when it's in a terrarium. I don't have any terrarium, let alone one that is large enough for this plant. So because of that, I'll show you where I'm gonna set it up in my pink room, obviously, but I think I'm gonna place it like right next to a humidifier that I will refill every day, and then also spray it once, maybe twice a day. I'll also probably put a saucer under it and like fill the saucer with water. But I really want to be able to keep this alive. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But I have high hopes for this until probably garden season when, again, I start to ignore my plants. So we'll kind of see how that goes. So if you've ever grown any type of moss successfully outside of a terrarium, let me know your tips. So I figure let's start off with the plants that I actually do have a plan for. And that includes this one first, the autumn fern. I'm going to plant it in a pot that is too large. Well, not too large, but much larger than this pot. And typically if you are going to pot up, you don't pot up this much, but I'm gonna do it anyway and see if it works. Because I have this specific pot in mind that I want to use. It actually matches, 1 second. This pot, and both of these I like to have on this table as kind of like the centerpiece. This one I've had for a while and it's done really well, like in this light situation, even as we've gotten into winter, hoping the autumn fern does the same. So like I said, this is larger, but I think because of the sprawling nature of the fern, it won't look too ridiculous at first. I'm just, again, hoping that it doesn't mind being potted up into such a large size. But I will say I've never really had a huge issue with that unless it's a plant that really likes to be root bound, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna plant this in here and let's go ahead and do that now. So I have my garbage can of potting soil. Again, this is where I store it indoors just because it looks prettier than having a bunch of bags in the corner, in my opinion. And I did get 2 more bags of potting soil, but they are in the car downstairs. So I'm hoping I have enough in here, although I probably don't. But I'm hoping I have enough in here for today's projects so that I don't have to go downstairs and carry them up. So I think what I'm gonna do is, do I wanna just tip and potentially make a mess, but fill it faster? Let's try. Ooh. No, okay. Maybe not the best choice, but doing it anyway, just like with the pot size. And I think I can already tell I am going to need to go downstairs and get the rest of the soil. But anyway, so although ferns do like humidity, they like a bit of moisture, they still want moist but well draining soil. So I'm going to water this in when I plant it, and then I'll probably water it. This might be one of my weekly watering plants, although the size of the pot, based on the size of the root ball, maybe not. We'll kind of see how it goes. But I'll water it when about the top half of the soil is dry. And I just have a moisture meter that I go around with and stick it in the plants because, again, I've killed more plants from overwatering versus underwatering. So I do try to avoid that now with my house plants. Also, again, because this is much larger than the root ball, it's not like the roots are going to take up all of the moisture as quickly as it would if the roots were filling the pot. So I don't always follow best practices here. I just kind of do what I want and see if it works. Plus, if a plant doesn't like its environment, I can always move it. So let's get it out of this pot without breaking it. So yeah, I think looks-wise, this isn't like too crazy to have in this pot, again, because it is overflowing so much. So I'm hoping this works out here. So I'm just adding soil now around the root ball, packing it in, and then we'll give it a good water. Now, similar with any of the plants that I plant outside in my container garden, I want to leave about an inch from the lip of the plant down to the soil. That way it's easier to water because I can put in all the water I want at once instead of adding water, waiting for it to go into the soil and absorb so that I can add more water. It just makes life and plant maintenance a lot easier. All right, I think we're good on the amount of soil. Let's go ahead and water it in, and then we'll see if I need to add any more. And making sure I water enough so it goes all the way through and out the drain hole. That way I just know that the soil is thoroughly saturated. I think I like that. All right, the next one that I know what I'm gonna do with are the asparagus ferns. So again, I'm gonna plant them together. I'm gonna put them on the shelf. What pot? I think I like the idea of just a good terracotta, maybe one that has been aged a bit. Let me see what I have. All right, I think I'm gonna go with this 8-inch terracotta, a little bit of age on it, which I like, and then both of these planted together in here. I think this will be a good size for them. I think they'll be happy there for a while. So let's get this filled up. I'll also show you where I place these, but that first fern is gonna go on this table where I'm currently making a mess. So I'll show you at the end when I clean everything up and then get everything into its place. But for now, let's get these planted. This, I might just go in and fill up that way. There we go. I don't know if I make an average amount of mess when potting as other people. If I make more of a mess, it feels like more, but maybe it's about normal. I am not a tidy person when it comes to actually doing the project, but I do like to tidy up afterwards. Oh, and I should mention the potting soil I'm using here. I can't remember exactly what the brand was. It might have just been store brand from Gethsemane, or it might have been Purple Cow. And then I also added in some perlite into the tub. I like to mix everything in here because it's much easier to do that than to, let's say, put potting soil in here, add perlite, mix it together in a smaller container. So I like to get everything mixed the way I like it and then use it for my plants. All right, let's get these out. Ooh. Yeah, I think this one's gonna be happy with a pot up. Put you in there, it's a good depth. Or do I want you on this side? And let's put you there. Is that the direction I want you? Yeah, I think I like that. Now, when I have my plants inside versus outside, and I have them on shelves, or really, I think, anywhere, I use a plastic saucer or glass saucer, which I'm just starting to do with the antique plates that I find. But plastic is going to protect the wood much better than if I used the terracotta saucer that comes with these pots, because terracotta absorbs the moisture. So if you have a terracotta saucer, that's going to absorb the moisture and then be sitting on your wood. And they do make glazed terracotta, but I still find that sometimes still leaks through. So I like to just opt for plastic. And even though I have like actual plastic saucers, if you ever do get takeout and there's lids on it, I like to save those because those can come in, well, a variety of sizes and shapes. And then it's a free way to have a saucer for your plant. So let's go ahead and water this in, and then we'll set you to the side. Here are my thoughts with the moss. Please let me know what you think of this and if I should do anything differently. But I have it on a shelf here. I have a humidifier running right below it. Let me know if you think that is close enough. too close? Should I move it a little bit further away? But it is directly hitting the plant and going up. And then I will also spray daily, probably up here where the humidifier might not be hitting the plant, just to make it feel like it's in a terrarium and hopefully stay alive. Now for watering, this one said to water as soon as the top feels dry, which I just watered yesterday, so the top does not feel dry because again, even though they like humidity and moisture, they still can start to get root rot. So that still feels good. I did find a Martha Stewart article about moss, and they weren't growing it in a terrarium, and they said to water twice a week, I think it was. So this will probably be my most watered plant, about twice a week, see how it goes, and hopefully it lives. I don't know, we'll see. I really love it because there is like dimension to it. There's this, again, like pinky color, and I think she said the new growth is what's coming in green, the person I talked to at the garden center. And I don't know if the white down here means it's dried too much or not. So yeah, that is my plan for the moss. So now the only plants I have left from the houseplants I just got are the caladiums and the poinsettias. And these are the ones that I'm still not 100% sure what I want to do with them. But I think this video will be up on Wednesday. The party is Saturday. So let me know in the comments. I'll go through some of the ideas of what I'm thinking. And then also if you just have any ideas that are not what I'm thinking, also let me know and I'll figure out what I want to do with these. So my first thought was again to pair some of these together. I have these green pots which are on the front stoop during the garden season. And I feel like I could fit, could I fit a caladium? Yeah, I think I could fit a caladium and a poinsettia each in here. So I have two pots that are this size. Let me grab the larger pot and see what I could fit in it. So this third pot is larger and I could probably do, I think I could do 2 caladiums and a poinsettia. Again, I have 6 of these total, 3 of these total. I could just all pot them up separately, like pot the poinsettias together and the caladiums separately. I'm also thinking I could do them in my railscapes on the stairs on the first floor. Let me grab one of those. So these are the railscapes. Now the green pots will be too heavy for these. I think, yeah, it's 15-pound maximum. So I'd wanna pot these up into plastic pots. And I could still do a combination of these two. I think that would be a good size because let's say I just put this in a pot. I think that would be too small for one in a railscape. That's not bad, but it still feels like a little small for just one in a railscape. So maybe I could do them in here together and have 3 of those. I don't know. And for me, usually I know I've made the right decision because I can just feel it. Like everything kind of clicks, like it did with where I'm going to put the 2 ferns, where I put the moss. I don't feel that yet with these. So like I said, I still have a few days after you see this before the party. Let me know if you have any ideas and I'll figure out what I'm gonna do with these. And of course, I'll show you when I do make a final decision. But I think that's gonna be everything for this video. I'm very excited, well, one, to see how the ferns do, to see if I kill the moss or not, but also to see how I do with the caladiums. Obviously the ones again from my garden already went dormant because they felt the temperatures drop. Even without temperatures dropping, these are supposed to go dormant as well. So I'm hoping I can take care of these long enough that I can then plant them in the parkway. And same thing when these do go dormant, I'll cut back the leaves. I will, whatever pot these are in, I will leave the bulb in the pot and I won't water it or anything once it's just the bulb in the pot. That way it doesn't rot. So yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you so much for watching this haul. Let me know your thoughts on the caladiums and poinsettias and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Technically, it's not goodbye yet because I almost forgot to show you what this looks like. Well, I haven't cleaned everything, just kind of showed over there, but this is what I'm thinking for these 2 plants. So I have them on some of the dishes I thrifted because again, these are front and center. So I think I want them to be on a drainage dish that looks pretty. So I have here the autumn fern. I think the other one's called a palm fern. I can't remember off the top of my head, but this is where they'll sit. And then anytime I do a project, I already shift things over anyway.